Today, Hi-Rez released another blog post about changes for Season 5. This one is about technical improvements. Now, in all honesty, this post is primarily about the fog and its details rather than a lot of different technical improvements, but it's still interesting and worth looking into, as well as going over some other points in the context of that. The post starts with a picture of what should be solo lane in the new map. This you can tell because of a few reasons. A, Order is on left and Chaos is on right. From the mid lane perspective, which we already saw in another screenshot, it's the other way around, and we can also see that we're behind the Fire Giant area. At the same time, this lane also has multiple entrances in places where middle lane doesn't, so it must be solo. What you'll see here right away are multiple effects. You see some fire volcano effect about the Fire Giant, but the more important ones here are the fog creeping out of the jungle, as well as the particle effect over the rift. This is a small shimmer. It's kind of hard to see, but I think it looks pretty cool. So that's some part of the new visuals, of the new effects that we see on the new map. Now for the article. Hey guys, SLOTH here. Today we'll be going over the new addition of fog to the Season 5 Conquest map, as well as a few other technical improvements made to Smite. Everything you see is still a work in progress. The team is working their butts off every day to make their vision for this map a reality. This will be our very last Season 5 sneak peek until we reveal the whole map at HRX. You guys will finally have the chance to play it yourselves on the PTS on January 17. If you're joining us at HRX, you'll be able to play it at the show next week. Without further ado, let's get rolling. First up, little stop from my side here. We know now that the PTS will be on January 17, meaning that there will be roughly 2 weeks of PTS testing time unless something changes later down the road, which I hope actually does, to the point that we at least have 3 weeks of testing. But also there will be testing, or at least trying out the map at HRX. Then we have 2 screenshots of the map, one showing us the old Season 4 Conquest map and comparing the new one to it. Now I'm not sure if these screenshots were taken at the exact same distance. If yes, then it seems like the middle lane has gotten a fair bit wider. What's also very nice is that there's a little less vegetation. The map looks a lot more open, you can see a lot more of the sky, and the backdrop with the temple looks a lot better than the huge mess of buildings that we had before as well. So overall, a great increase in visuals for the middle lane from my perspective at least, and I also like that the style is a lot brighter overall. In my opinion, a lot more pleasing to the eye, better to look at. Continuing with the article. When Smite was in beta, we experimented with tons of features. One that didn't make it out of beta and has remained on the top of the community request list is Jungle Fog. We are super excited to re-implement it in Season 5. Senior software engineer Blake Edwards was kind enough to shed some light on some of the work we did to bring back this long requested feature. To implement fog in Season 5, we utilized a combination of fog volumes and particle effects. This closely matches the gameplay design of limited vision and also provides a more realistic, eerie look of the jungle. Looking closely, you will notice that tall objects peek out of the jungle, and so do other guards when using height-based abilities. In addition, artists have also been able to carve out areas from the fog, providing more visibility around the camps. Now, for some of you, there may be some alarm bells ringing when you hear particle effects in context of a Smite game, where particles can often kind of lead a little bit to issues, to lags on certain skins and whatnot. But there have been replies from Hi-Rez employees to that specifically already. Chris replied to somebody asking about that on Reddit, about the issues that may come with particle effects in the fog, that the particle portions are only for the entrances to the jungle. As such, being in the jungle itself is not as resource intense. Additionally, Hi-Rez Stealth tested some more stuff regarding minimal settings to see how the performance would be there. I just turned all the graphics to minimum to check it out for you. The fog is still here, and there's no advantage or disadvantage to having lower graphic settings. The only difference is on all minimal graphics, the fog isn't seeping from the jungle into the lanes. So exactly this special effect gets deactivated on minimal settings, which I think is a very good decision, so it won't take any performance from the lower NPCs, while it will also not have an impact on how the jungle in general works. What I also think is very cool is this line of sight thing with the height, meaning that a leap, for example, will make you visible above the fog. I think this could look really cool, and I'm kind of curious which abilities actually go above it. For example, I could imagine like Hunbat's overhead smash going like just this tiny bit above it, just like a little bit, where you can see his head poking out and maybe his weapon, and then you get hit by it before you can do anything at that point, which I think would be really cool and a little bit scary. In the article, we next see a visual comparison of the old purple camp and the new purple camp. The first thing that you'll notice here is that the purple camp now has fog around it, but the area itself is clear of fog as described in the article. What you also notice is that the creature for the purple buff is changed. I would think that this is a chimera from the looks of it, so that looks pretty cool as well. And again, we only see one creature here without any additional minions to it, so this could mean something in terms of spawns, XP, etc. as well. I've already pointed this out in the last developer update regarding that single minion at the red buff. Again, I highly prefer the new visual style here. Looks a lot brighter than before, a lot clearer. Though some of the graphical elements here look a little bit unfinished in my opinion. That's probably, hopefully, still worked on. I wish we could have gotten a glimpse of the long lane side here as well. That's unfortunately not the case. I kinda hope that the beach is still there. Now for the last part of the article. This is brand new tech we created specifically for the Conquest map. The new fog makes it incredibly clear what you have vision of and what you don't. Here's a quick message from the Smite executive producer Chris Larson. The team continues to work hard and deliver new advancements to the core technology of Smite. We hope as you start to play Conquest in Season 5, you will discover and appreciate the small details that were put into the map. Also, players that are on older gaming PCs will not be left behind on the fun because performance was at the forefront of our efforts. I can't wait for Conquest to be played in 2018 and to share in the excitement of what I consider our greatest map produced to date. You don't have to worry that the team may decide to sit back on our achievement and take a break. No, we've already started on the next awesome Smite map. Many people assume that this might be Assault, which is a bit due for an overhaul. Could also be Siege, who knows. And there you have it. I've had a great time sitting down with everyone around the Smite office getting all the details about the Season 5 Conquest map. I hope all of you reading this have enjoyed the time we spent together these past couple of weeks. On January 17, we'll release our PTS for the new map, so you will have a chance to provide us with first-hand feedback. We will be searching for your feedback and trying our best to improve the game around it. But let's not get too excited about a new year quite yet, because we've still got things to worry about in the present. HRX, that's right. The grand finale of all things Season 4 begins in less than 1 week. Be sure to catch the best teams in action as they face off to see who is the #1. Love you guys, see you at HRX. MLC Stealth. So the biggest takeaway from this one is that we will get a new reworked map soon, or maybe next season after that. Not too much other info, more of a wrap up here. I have some more info though that was asked in the Reddit thread, and that was regarding wards and the fog. The first question in that context was if wards will clear the fog in the area that they are placed in. Stealth responded, wards will not clear out the fog. You will still see the fog there. You will also see the enemy through the fog in the fog. I'm honestly not 100% sure what he means here. What definitely is implied here is that if you have placed a ward, the ward will spot out an enemy in the fog if the ward area also covers the fog area. So it's not like fog would make you invisible from wards. If you will see the shape of the enemy in the fog or not is another question that I don't really understand from what he said here. If it's the case, it's cool. If not, that's cool too, I guess. If you know how to use the map, you will know if an enemy is there if you place a ward. Somebody else asked what happens to the ward range now that we have a bigger map, if the ward range per ward will get increased to compensate for the bigger map rather. Stealth responded, as of right now, no. But I'm sure that's something we can talk about if there's enough feedback about the ward size not being large enough. We'll just have to have everyone playing the new map to get a feel for wards. I honestly wouldn't be entirely surprised if the ward range stays the same, but people may at some point be able to place a third ward. This is due to the fact that there are a lot more walls in the jungle now, making it harder for a ward really to spot out anything around those walls, and as such a third ward could possibly be used effectively. Maybe something like only being allowed 2 sentries but 3 normal walls, or like 2 normal walls and 1 sentry. Who knows, just pitching thought at this point, but I feel like it wouldn't be entirely unlikely. While this is the last Season 5 update, this won't be the last Season 5 topic before Season 5 from me. I posted a question the other day on Twitter regarding what you guys would like to see outside of the things that we already know in Season 5, and that will definitely be addressed later this week. And outside of the regular content that will continue while I'm at HRX, I will also try and get in some more info from HRX, maybe do a hotel room style patch notes review or something like that. And with that, thank you guys for watching. If you're new to the channel, feel free to click the sub button and maybe the bell, it really helps me out. Also, if you're going to HRX, feel free to follow me on Twitter. I'm posting a lot of updates regarding HRX at the moment, a lot of tips, what you should prepare and all that kind of stuff. And I will also be announcing like meetups and all that kind of jazz, you know, the usual, there for HRX. So head over there, twitter.com/DukeSlothTV. See you for the next one tomorrow. DukeSloth, out. So I actually figured out my demonetization issue and it was my outro. As such, feel free to click any of the links around here right now. There will be new outro music as soon as I find something nice. Until then, as you guys requested, I will do the outro music myself. You're welcome.